Hi guys, welcome to my 29-week pregnancy vlog. I am reporting to you live from the Adelaide Hills in my bath. I didn't know how else I could do this video because the boys are falling asleep, and it's my opportunity just to be here and have some time to do this. I didn't want to wake them up, and yeah, so I'm doing it from the bath. You see the plastic behind me? This is the renovations, which is just hilarious. And Mark thinks it's very funny because when I was pregnant with Forrest, I also was like, we need to renovate the house, which is very typical of me. Anyone who knows me knows that I just get this idea in my head, and it's about nesting and building a home, and I have to see it through. So we came up with we really need to have a kid's bedroom in our house, because basically, I think I've explained this before, my house is an old school camp. So kids used to come up here in the 70s and the 80s, and they used to go on school camps here. So we have a main section of the house, which is it was like the school hall. So if you can imagine at your school, your huge hall. So that's the main area of our house, is this big hall. And my dad, when we moved in with my dad when I was 5, he knocked down the stage and just made it sort of this one big room. So we have this one massive kind of warehouse living room space, and then one bedroom, because the bedroom is where the kitchen used to be. And my parents sort of built on an extra kitchen. So really they had one main bedroom, or just one bedroom, a kitchen, a laundry, and one massive room, and that's it. And so it works really well for a retired couple. But then when we bought the house from my mum and dad, my stepmom and dad, we knew that we had to renovate. We had to add on a kid's room in this main house. So up the ramp, I've talked about this before, my mum lives in the rooms which were dormitories. So all the kids had these, like teenagers had these rooms with a bunch of bunk beds. And I vaguely remember as a 5-year-old seeing the way it was as a 5-year-old, and seeing the bunk beds and the rooms, and it was so cool. And I just remember thinking that the teenagers who slept in those rooms must have been just so in the know, and they probably were reading Girlfriend magazine and Dolly magazine. And I remember having these thoughts as a little girl, and I just thought it was such just a playground, just a wonderful land of adventure. And I still feel that way in many ways, but now I can look at this property, we have 10 acres of land, as just a tranquil and peaceful environment in which to raise children in a really harmonious way, and to be in touch with nature, which is so beautiful, and not what we get to experience in LA. And LA, we have a beautiful life, we have a beautiful home, it's a little tree house with a pool, and we have great friends, but it is such a different city to Adelaide, and there isn't nearly as much connection to nature for us. We don't have a big block. Most of our block is just a pool, and we're a house on stilts in the Hollywood Hills, right under the Hollywood sign. And so the land is just a big slope, so the kids can't really play outdoors that much. But here it's just, we have rolling hills, and they can just run and explore. And we have our kittens that have grown up a fair bit since we got back, and the kittens are out exploring, and the boys chase them and run around, and I'm just loving it. There's just something about being here that makes me so happy, and it's that home feeling that you get when you go back to your hometown. And I'm sure some people think, oh, it hasn't changed or it's so boring, but to me it's just the things that annoyed me about it as a teenager are the things that I love about Adelaide now. I think it is the most special place to raise a family in the world, and the fact that we get to do that and be in our own property, and it is so blissful, and I've never been this happy. To take the kids to school today, and they were in their little uniforms, and just remembering what that was like, going to my first day of school at Mercedes College, and I just feel so nostalgic here, and now I don't have to think about work for at least 4 months. And then when I go back to work, I really go back to work. I'm going to be there for 6 months working 16-hour days, and just, it's going to be hectic. So I'm really taking the time to use this as a way to recharge my batteries, prepare for the birth of our baby, nest, work on the renovations, which is just so funny. So we're building this big epic kids room, which will be for all the kids, including Izzy, and we're building bunk beds and putting Ataris and pinball machine and a rock climbing wall, and just making it a really cool epic kids room for them. And we're taking over the carport area and turning that into a room, so at least we have one other kids room in the house, because before our baby comes, we need Bodhi to have his own space and to have his own room. Right now, Bodhi and Forrest are in our bedroom with us. They're the kookaburras. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. They're really loud, and it's so awesome in the morning to wake up to the kookaburras just singing and communicating with each other. The quintessential Australian life. And so I was like, well, since we're doing the kids' room, we may as well bring it through into the kitchen. So the kitchen is the one place we haven't renovated yet, and it's still very country, which is my parents' style, like big and beautiful kitchen, massive kitchen. And the appliances are so beautiful, but it's all wood. The whole thing is just wood. So it's kind of like an orangey wood, and it's like built out. There's just so much storage, and my stepmom is this master chef. So for her, it makes sense to have a huge kitchen with like a gazillion cupboards and drawers everywhere. But for us, we want more of a minimalist, modern vibe. So we want like concrete and everything to be sleek and big, open windows. And so I was like, let's just renovate the kitchen as well. So now we're renovating the kitchen and the bedroom. Apparently it's all going to be done before the baby's born, but we will see. Last time with Forrest, everything got done by like 38 plus 5 days. So I'm hoping it won't get to be so close this time around. But yeah, I just am loving it. I'm loving it. It's the best. I'm having such an amazing time. And I feel great. She's moving a ton, so much more than she has. I go in for my glucose test. I have that in 2 days. So I have to be in the SA pathology for 2 hours. I drink the drink, and then they check my levels to see if I have gestational diabetes. One of my friends just got diagnosed with it. I also hear that before you take the test, you should be very aware of what you eat, and don't eat anything that contains sugar in it. So I'm going to be doing a fasting, and then go in the morning, and I'll be there for 2 hours. I have to drink this terrible drink, which I never drink sugary drinks anyway. So I just wonder how my body's going to react. So we will see. I have a midwife checkup in 2 days. And yeah, in a couple of days I'm going to be 30 weeks pregnant. What? That went so fast. Got my eyebrows tinted to die. But yeah, so feeling great. Life is awesome. just getting into the swing of things and relaxing and recharging and getting ready for the babe. And I've been listening to these 2 podcasts that I'll recommend. Australian Birth Stories, obviously, which I love, and I've been on. You should listen to my episode if you haven't heard it yet. And also The Birth Hour. And so I've been listening to all types of different births, because I think, it's funny, a lot of people say that a third birth is the wild card. So the first birth and the second birth, the first birth isn't usually straightforward. People have an idea of what they want, and more often than not, it doesn't exactly turn out the way that they want, which is what happened with me. Second birth, I had the dreamiest birth in the entire world. I couldn't have even written a better birth for myself. Third time round, they say that you've had your second dreamy birth, or, maybe that wasn't the case with everyone, but they say do not have expectations. So Forrest came in 3 hours. So I had this expectation before I looked into this that she was just gonna come out in like 1 to 3 hours. It'd be very fast, it'll be into the water, it will be relatively smooth and straightforward. And a lot of the stuff I've been reading has been like, don't be fooled, because third time round is the wild card. And even my midwife has said that to me. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I am open to the experience and how it will be. And I know she will come in the way she needs to come. And as long as I don't force myself into a certain way of birthing, and just be open to however she chooses to come into the world, and be flexible and try not to have expectations. So that's what I've been working on as well. And one of the reasons I've been listening to all kinds of birth stories on the podcast. All right, I'm gonna go. I've been watching some really cool things. I posted about my bizarre true crime obsession and my mysteries obsession and ghost stories, and someone recommended me to watch the Ted Bundy confession files. So that's been pretty hardcore. Strange thing to watch when you're going to be giving birth in the next couple of months. But yeah, I love it. I love all those podcasts. And so I've been having baths, daily baths, sometimes twice a day, and I listen to the podcast. I'm currently listening to Bear Brook. I finished The Teacher's Pet, which is amazing. And tonight I'm going to be on episode 3 of the Ted Bundy confession files. And I watched another amazing documentary called The Fire Festival, which was just out there and unbelievable. You've got to watch it. I won't give anything away, but it will blow your mind. And I actually giggled my way through. I could not believe that this happened. And I'm really glad that the person involved in the situation had to deal with the ramifications of his actions. But yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna go and get out of the bath and watch the next episode. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me with this close-up here. I wanted to make sure that I was safe, didn't see anything that you didn't need to. All right, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.